For decades, Fiona Phillips has been a familiar, comforting presence in homes across the UK. From early mornings on GMTV to her appearances on This Morning, she brought warmth, intelligence, and grace to every broadcast. She's interviewed prime ministers, stood on red carpets, and offered gentle reassurance to viewers navigating the ups and downs of daily life. But now, Fiona is facing a moment that has nothing to do with lights, cameras, or scripts. This is real life, and it's heartbreaking. Recently, Fiona received news that would shake even the strongest among us: a diagnosis of early-onset Alzheimer's disease. For many, the condition conjures images of distant memories and old age. But Fiona, just 62, still full of energy and compassion, never expected her life to take this turn, especially not so soon. According to close family friends, Fiona was devastated by the news. Her first reaction? Tears, followed by confusion, fear, and eventually, grief. Not just for herself, but for her family, her husband, her children, her viewers. Doctors made the diagnosis after Fiona began experiencing increasing memory lapses, names, conversations, even routines she had followed for years. What began as minor forgetfulness soon became impossible to ignore, and after months of tests, appointments, and anxious waiting, the truth arrived like a thunderclap. Alzheimer's disease, the same disease that took her mother and her father. A cruel twist of fate. For someone who made a living telling other people's stories, Fiona now faces the painful irony of her own story being slowly rewritten, one memory at a time. Fiona has spoken publicly in the past about her family's heartbreaking history with dementia. She's watched it before, the forgetting, the fading, the fear. She's lived it from the outside, looking in. But now, she's inside. And even for a woman as articulate and composed as Fiona Phillips, there were no words, only tears. Her husband, Martin Frizzell, editor of This Morning, was among the first to know, and sources say he was visibly shaken, but stood strong for Fiona. Their marriage, tested by the pressures of media life, is now facing its greatest challenge. He's been by her side for decades, through long working hours, raising their sons, and now through this. Insiders say Martin has taken leave from work to be with Fiona more, to manage appointments, to help navigate what's to come. In a particularly poignant twist, Fiona has long been an outspoken advocate for Alzheimer's awareness and dementia research. She fundraised, raised awareness, and even presented documentaries about the disease, never once thinking it would one day be her. There's a quote that Fiona once read live on air years ago, a quote about time. It's the most precious thing we have, but we treat it like it's endless. Now, as Fiona begins this new chapter, one of reflection, resilience, and raw honesty, time has taken on a new weight. Every moment with her family, every conversation, every hug, it all matters more, because one day it may slip away. Her two sons, Nathaniel and Mackenzie, have taken the news hard. Friends close to the family say the boys, still in their 20s, are coming to terms with something no child should have to face, watching a parent slowly disappear in front of them. But they've also rallied. They've cleared schedules. They've learned everything they can about the disease. They're taking turns accompanying her to specialist appointments, helping with memory aids, and doing all they can to protect the most precious thing they still have: time together. Dementia doesn't just affect the person living with it, it affects everyone who loves them. It's a thief, but we can't let it steal our dignity or our hope. Little did she know at the time, she was speaking her future into existence. But Fiona Phillips is not giving up. Not now, not ever. She's begun treatment and lifestyle changes aimed at slowing the disease's progression. She's working with leading memory specialists in the UK, exploring both traditional medicine and promising new therapies. And perhaps most admirably, she's still speaking out, even now, especially now. Because Fiona knows that someone, somewhere, needs to hear her story, needs to know they're not alone. She recently gave an interview in which she said, "I've always told the truth on TV. I can't stop now. This is part of my life, and I want people to know what it looks like, not just when it's too late, but while there's still time." It's that kind of honesty that endeared Fiona to the nation in the first place, and it's why now, more than ever, she remains an icon, not for her strength, but for her vulnerability. This isn't a story about a celebrity. It's a story about a mother, a wife, a daughter, a woman facing something millions of families in the UK understand all too well. And though Fiona's memory may one day fail her, the memories she's given to her loved ones and to the nation will live on. She made the country feel seen, heard, and understood. Now we stand with her, in solidarity and in sorrow, as she walks this
Fiona
uncertain
Phillips wasn't
path.
just a colleague. She was family to so many in British broadcasting. Ruth Langsford, visibly tearful during an ITV interview, recalled their earliest days together. She had this spark, Ruth said, the kind of intelligence that didn't need to shout to be heard. You listened to Fiona because she spoke truth. Eamon Holmes shared his memories too, praising Fiona as a true broadcaster who never chased drama, only understanding. And Philip Schofield, breaking his social media silence, posted just 3 words: "We love you, Fi." The messages didn't stop at presenters. Cameramen, producers, even former runners posted stories online. How Fiona stayed behind after filming to help with scripts, comforted nervous guests, or sent thank you cards for the smallest acts. It's clear, Fiona isn't just admired, she's adored. Following her public announcement, ITV set up a special mailbox to collect messages from viewers. Within 48 hours, they received over 12,000 letters. From widows who watched their partners fade over the years. From grandchildren trying to understand their nan's forgetfulness. From nurses, carers, volunteers, all saying, "Thank you, Fiona. You've given us permission to speak." One letter stood out. It came from a woman in Dorset who wrote, "I haven't told anyone I have dementia, until now. You gave me the courage to say it aloud." These messages, printed and bound into a book, now sit on Fiona's coffee table. On days when the fog rolls in, Martin reads her a few aloud. Sometimes she smiles, sometimes she weeps, but always she listens. At a recent private Alzheimer's awareness event in London, a surprise came near the end. Nathaniel and Mackenzie took the stage. The 2 young men, now navigating university and early adulthood, stood tall, though their voices trembled. "She's still numb," Nathaniel said, "even if she forgets my birthday or calls me by Dad's name." Mackenzie added quietly, "She still laughs at our terrible jokes, and that's enough." The room fell silent as they concluded with a simple, powerful sentence. "We're not losing her. We're learning to love her differently." Fiona, sitting quietly near the front, wiped away a single tear. A memory, perhaps, was being made right then. Fiona's diagnosis has reopened a vital national conversation. Why is dementia still underfunded? Why are carers stretched to breaking point? Why is diagnosis delayed for so many, especially women? Fiona and Martin have used their platform not just to raise awareness, but to raise hell. They've appeared at parliamentary panels, met with NHS policy teams, and championed local memory clinics. Their demand is simple: better funding, better access, better understanding. And their mission is gaining traction. Since Fiona's disclosure, Google searches for early signs of Alzheimer's have doubled in the UK. Dementia helpline calls have surged. Donations to Alzheimer's charities have spiked. Change, slow though it may be, is starting to happen. There's a powerful irony in Fiona Phillips' story. She made her living with words. Now she's slowly losing them. She asked questions for a living. Now she sometimes forgets the answers. And yet, her voice is never more important. Because what Fiona is showing the world isn't weakness, it's courage. The courage to show vulnerability. The courage to love through change. The courage to step into the unknown and still hold your head high. Each day Fiona wakes up, she begins again. With grace, with humor, with astonishing dignity. When future generations look back on Fiona Phillips' career, they will see more than a TV presenter. They'll see a woman who used her platform not for gossip or gain, but for truth. Who interviewed prime ministers one day and comforted a grieving mother the next. Who, when faced with one of life's most cruel diagnoses, didn't retreat into the shadows. She turned toward the light. Her legacy is not fading. It's growing. In every carer who now feels seen, in every viewer who found the words to speak, and in every family who chooses to face Alzheimer's not with silence, but with strength. So here's to Fiona, not just for what she's done, but for who she continues to be, a woman who will never, ever be forgotten. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Have you or someone you love faced Alzheimer's? Leave a comment below. We read every one. Together, we build a community not of pity, but of hope. Not of silence, but of shared memory. We'll continue following Fiona's journey, her advocacy, and the lives she's impacting every day. Thank you for watching.